What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders for Thursday, January 14th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. I will be on live before lock tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so keep your eyes peeled. Sim updates will come just before I go live. Finally, let me know in the comment section who are your favorite options for FanDuel tonight. We're rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Ben Simmons, Malcolm Brogdon, Damian Lillard, Precious Achiuwa, and Christian Wood, who's on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up, number 5, we're going all the way up at center. 11,200 for NIKOLA Jokic, projected for 56 fantasy points. The goal is 61, which I think he hits 31% of the time. He's in the optimal 33% of the time. 35 minutes, 30% usage, and he's doing everything for this Nuggets team. 26.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists, and I might even be light on that assist number. I'm projecting him as like a 1.6 fantasy point per minute guy because they're taking on the Golden State Warriors. This is a massive pace-up spot for the Denver Nuggets. They gain 4.5 possessions over the average for themselves. That's huge. We're talking an additional, 2.5 to close to 2 fantasy points just for Jokic. That makes a huge difference, especially at 11-2. The range of outcomes is significantly bigger. I like getting to Jokic here. This should be a fast game that he dictates fully on the Denver side. Again, 1.6 fantasy points per minute in 35 minutes. The upside is massive for Jokic. I'm not super worried about anything they've got going on defensively. Draymond's great and all. Not really a matchup for Jokic. And I don't think James Wiseman is ready for this. So, NIKOLA Jokic, the number 5 contender. Number 4, we're going Kelly Olynyk, power forward eligibility, 5,300, projected for 34 fantasy points, goal of 40.5. He hits the goal 23% of the time. He's in the optimal 35% of the time. I'm probably being pessimistic with his minutes at 36. He could play significantly more. Try to manage these weird situations where there's only 8 active guys as much as I possibly can. Minimal usage, didn't go crazy in the last one. It's only 16%, 13 points, about 9 boards, a couple assists. A little bit of a pace-up spot against Philly, but here's what you're doing. He's 5,300 and you are buying minutes. He has to play and has to play a bunch, or at least you would expect it, because the Heat are just simply shorthanded. So don't overthink it. Don't worry too much about the matchup. You're buying the guys that you think are going to pay or play the most for the Miami Heat. And today, I think Kelly Olynyk at power forward is one of those guys. You can pair him quite nicely with number 3, DOMANTAS Sabonis, 9,200 at power forward, projected for 49. You're looking for 54. Hits that goal 27% of the time. And now we're taking a step up. Shows up in the optimal lineup 40% of the time. He's playing monstrous minutes. I've got him in for 37. 26% usage. That gives him a baseline projection of north of 23 and 13, plus 5 assists. Insane. A little bit of a pace-up spot for Indiana. And no Victor Oladipo, no longer with the Indiana Pacers, now moving on to the Houston Rockets. We're not going to have Karis LeVert yet, so this is just another opportunity for Sabonis to go to work offensively. Great spot. I'm not worried at all about Portland's defense on Sabonis. They don't really have that at those positions. I'm certainly not worried about the way Derek Jones Jr. has been playing in 20 minutes at this point. Get Sabonis some Carmelo Anthony time. We'll see how good this looks. I love getting to Sabonis. Clearly on the new tier, 3rd overall for the FanDuel slate. Now, at number 2, I'm going Eric Gordon. Small forward eligibility, which is key, 5,200. I have him projected for 33 fantasy points with a goal of 40. He hits the goal 21% of the time. He's in the optimal 41% of the time. Clearly, no James Harden. He's on his way to Brooklyn. No John Wall either. He's going to be out for this one. And clearly, Daniel House still out. I think Eric Gordon's going to play a ton, including being the primary facilitator for the team. Gave him 32 minutes. His usage is through the roof when other stars aren't on the floor, when Harden's not there, or if you go back in time, Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook. So massive usage boost for Eric Gordon. I'm projecting him as like a fantasy point per minute guy. He's normally like a 0.8 guy because he's usually playing with other stars. Very different now. 19, 5, and 3 is a baseline projection. Matchup against San Antonio is whatever, but between the usage bump and just sort of the general stat bump. His assist rate goes up a lot while those guys are off the floor. This is an incredible spot at a position that is generally ugly. Eric Gordon, one of my favorite plays of the day. Not enough to get to number 1, but he's certainly a perfect number 2. Now, before we get to my number 1 contender, one last reminder, hit the thumbs up. Helps me out so much. I love it when you guys run those like numbers up to the top. It feels great. Subscribe to the channel too. You know, I don't want to poo-poo it. I do want to get to that 50K number. So also get the subs, because that makes me great. That makes me really happy too. I'm mumbling through this and stumbling through it, but we're gonna get there, I promise. Finally, let me know in that comment section, who do you like on this FanDuel slate? And follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Now we're on to number 1. And my number 1 contender of the day, Tyler HERRO. Shooting guard eligibility, just 6,500, projected for 42 fantasy points. The goal's 45. He hits the goal 39% of the time. He's in the optimal 48% of the time. Now, I only gave him 38 minutes. It's possible that he plays in the mid-40s, just like he did in the previous affair. I'm giving him 30% usage. It's also possible that number is low. Doing all of that gets me north of a fantasy point per minute, close to 1.1 for Tyler HERRO. 26, 6, and 5 as the baseline projection. Pace up spot against Philly. Philly's getting their guys back, so it is a little scary from that point, but I think HERRO has the biggest upside of anybody on the Heat. He will be controlling the ball for, at a minimum, in my opinion, 38 minutes, and if he's doing that, 40 fantasy points is well in his sights, and if he goes north of 45, you're going to need him. He will be a necessity on FanDuel. So, Tyler HERRO is the number 1 contender for Thursday's slate. Alrighty, guys, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Thursday, January 14th. A reminder, I'm on live before lock tonight at 6 p.m., so tune in. Myself, Greg Ehrenberg, breaking it down for an hour, and then we're sticking around and talking some jock market for another 30 minutes. Should be a fun time. Good luck tonight, guys. I'll see you again tomorrow for the final edition this week of the NBA Contenders.